you all know, fantasy football is a cutthroat sport of violence, aggression, and pure emotion. This week, as we are going to dive in to a little behind-the-scenes look at really what goes on in a week for, say, one of the league's most outspoken owners. One of those that is above the game itself, or so they think. This week we are actually going to do a slightly investigatory documentary on one of the, I guess you could say, the rock stars of the Crab Cakes and Football League, Jeremy Chadwick. Before we start the documentary, I would just like to mention that Mr. Chadwick did decline to all interviews for this documentary. We were able to get a slight, quick session with the league commissioner. So, other than his interview, we are basing all of our assumptions in this documentary purely off speculation and evidence that we acquired in filming. So, I won't hold you back anymore. Let's get it going. So yeah, I would say I am the acting commissioner of this league. I get along great, everybody, but just sometimes, there's always that one guy that just rubs you the wrong way. I don't like saying any names, but sadly, that's the team owner. I can't even hide it. It's Jeremy Chadwick. I just can't. That's what it is. So, as you can tell by the picture shown here, we have the basic, stereotypical, cocky, young owner, sort of Mark Cuban-esque, you could say. A Texas Playboy type. Definitely not one of the blue-collar guys that just seems to gain so much more support from the community and the other owners itself. This is just our first glimpse at Mr. Chadwick. As we dig deeper, we uncover there's just several layers to this story. It seemed like the farther we dug, the more interesting he got. So, for example, as you may notice here, we did not know, however, that in his younger days he actually took up a slight interest in modeling, as shown by the picture here. I'm at a loss for words, and we've just now begun. Also, it seems as though he began to not only act like, but just sort of look like Jet Li, as shown. Now, why would any normal fantasy football owner want to do anything like this? Other than just to gain more attention to their team, maybe Rex Ryan-esque. It's really unexplainable by my own power. However, our researchers they keep turning up just amazing facts that will probably make you hate him even more. So, what else you might be asking yourself? Feast your eyes on this. Yes, you saw that correctly. Jersey Shore, New Jersey. The only place where just really the lowest of all lows find. I mean, you can really find more class in a rest stop bathroom. Why would a fantasy owner want to be around there? It's unexplainable. Inexcusable might be a better word for someone in such a high public status. So, you think we might be done. However, I beg to differ. Let's quickly recap exactly what we've learned from this documentary so far. We have a billionaire fantasy football owner gone rogue. Playboy type, basically your classic irresponsible famous person. Started off in modeling. Had an obsession with ducks. Modeled his pattern, his behavior, his looks, everything after Jet Li. And now hanging out at Jersey Shore. And what exactly happens at Jersey Shore, you might be asking? This. Disgusting. Now don't be fooled. He has recently done several, cameos, you might say, with other famous, highly regarded citizens. But don't let that fool you. For example, here, we are seeing him posing with the Dos Equis man. Yes, the most interesting man in the world. Don't let the act fool you. He is armed, dangerous, completely reckless, and irresponsible. So, what can we do about this? Well, hopefully, you're now a little more educated on some of the darker sides of fantasy football. It's not all glam, glory, fame. It can send you down into a hole. A deep pit that, quite frankly, the weak-minded just don't know how to handle themselves. So, that concludes today's episode of The Owner Spotlight, Behind the Scenes, with Jeremy Chaplik. We thank you all for tuning in. We would like to wish all of your families safety and security knowing that this man is on the loose. Basically, we apologize for any nightmares that may come of this. We feel it's better to be educated than scared, which was the point of this documentary. Hopefully, at least this being brought to the spotlight, hopefully he will calm it down. Hopefully he may set his lineup one day. Hopefully, because of this, our league in general will be better, because it's the people's league. And without all good people, it's just a league. Thank you, and good evening.